Hey you guys, it's Dani, and today's walkthrough is going to be Dreamscape, the Oracle deck. This is by Matt Hughes of Ethereal Visions Publishing. This little bad boy right here has been amazing to work with. Once it was released, I pre-ordered it. I didn't do the Kickstarter, but I did pre-order. So once it came in, I dove right in. So I've been using this for a while, so I'm excited to share it with you guys. So let's take a look at these cards. The Dreamscape Oracle deck. So I keep saying Dreamscape for no freaking reason at all. No reason at all. Just my mouth doesn't want to form around Dreamscape for whatever reason. So if I accidentally say this, my apologies. So this comes in a really cool holographic, it's on the sides, basically on the top box, these like holographic accents. This again is by Matt Hughes. This is the first edition of the Dreamscape Oracle deck. See how I had to go slow? So let's go ahead and take just a quick peek at the guidebook. We'll come back to it a bit later. So there's no holographics on this. It is a plain and simple little book. There are, I think there's just one. Yeah, there is one, the Dreamscape Oracle spread in here. Really nice. I've done this one. The Seeker, the First Step, the Outcome. It was a really nice little spread. Now, I don't know if this was fixed or this will be fixed, I'm sure. But Tiger was missing from the guidebook. So we just got a little paper insert. So I just kind of stick mine in here. This guidebook comes with a little blip about each card, which is in black and white. And then the meanings off to the side, just like usually a sentence, maybe two for each card. So nice little guidebook. We'll pull one from the end and take a look. Now I love the backs of this deck. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? Like, I love the moon, these little dragonflies, which normally aren't my thing, but I just like the way that it all kind of fits together. They are reversible, as you can see, and he's got his copyright of Matt Hughes on both sides. So they are fully reversible. You can see this is a nice thin little deck. It is tarot sized, so I do really enjoy that. Now they are not in any particular order because I have been using this deck. I think they're all right side up, but you never know. It's always an adventure here. All right, hopefully we can see all these well, and you can catch the kind of glinting holographic foil on there. So we have the Shadow. So these cards I absolutely adore. I like them even more than the Ethereal Visions Tarot because they are deeper colors. Like, they're darker colors. It doesn't seem faded at all. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this new Luna edition will be all the same way. Like, this coloration will be darker. Please excuse the ink on my hands. I've washed them a million times. It's still on there. It's a really good ink. Okay, anyway. So here we go. So they have a lot of animals and archetypes within here. The guidebook I do find is necessary for this deck, at least for now. Maybe once I get a little more familiar with each concept and each card, I might not need it as much. But right now I feel like I can't really use one without the other. I love this Luna Moth. So beautiful. The Gift. We have some that are more foiled than others, or that have more of the holographics than others, which I don't mind at all. Memory. I actually prefer them as an accent versus like taking over the whole image. Like, kind of like this. I really love this idea. The Serpent. The Scales, the Elephant, the Selkie, the Fish, Death Mother. I love this card. Oh, I love this card. The Gate, Balance, Palomino, the Guardian. Now, I was kind of bummed because my Guardian seems to be kind of overstamped here, where I can barely make out the mask, and the mask is more prominent and you can see it a lot better. Let's see if I can find her in the guidebook. Oh, Tiger was literally in there. If you can see how the mask is supposed to look here in the Guardian. So I was just kind of bummed about that, but I mean, like, not enough to be like, I don't like this deck. It's terrible. Like, I was just kind of like, oh, I wish it wasn't so hard to tell what's going on. It just looks like something was kind of overstamped there, but anyway, there's the elusive tiger. White owl, the light, the crone, sea turtle, the prophet, the silence. I just love these concepts. The knight, one of my favorite cards. The spring, the architect. Oh, there we go. Upside down. Let's see. It's probably, oh, just these two. We almost made it, y'all. We almost made it. I was really excited. Okay. The seer, the octopus, and sun bear. So these are great. Now, I do have, a few of them, if you can kind of see, do have a little bit of scratches maybe, or maybe where the holographic foil didn't quite work out as well. But I don't think this is going to fade away the more I use the cards. It doesn't seem that way. It just seems like little printer errors, which is fine. I don't think, we have a couple of little edges. I don't think that it's going to continue to fade or wear off. But I'll definitely keep y'all posted. I don't think so, though. These are not edged, which I am not upset about. I much prefer just a regular raw edge. If I want to edge them, I definitely will. Right now, I like it the way it is. So let's stop bouncing for a second, and I will shuffle these. Now, I am a riffle shuffler. Some people say, oh, well, maybe, just overhand with something that has foil. I'm not about that life. Like, seriously, I'm not about that life. This is how I shuffle, so I'm going to shuffle no matter what. But guys, let me turn this so you can hear it really well. Listen to this shuffle. It's like butter. I love this cardstock. If you can hear, it is matte, but it moves so well. Like, it's not sticky in any way, shape, or form. It works really, really well. So no complaints at all about this cardstock. It is phenomenal. So I've been using, let me turn this back around. Okay, so I've been using this deck quite a bit since I got it. I have been pairing it with the Circle of Life Tarot. If you follow me on Instagram at the Dani Mystic, you will see some of my pairings of this with the Circle Tarot. Like, if you watched some of my other videos, I hit the microphone. If you watched some of my other videos, I've been talking about how I'm just not sure if I'm going to keep the Circle Tarot. I've been like up in the air. But this deck has made me fall back in love with my Circle Tarot. Like, using them together has been a dream. Funny as it is, I have not used this with the Ethereal Visions. I just haven't. I have used it strictly with the Circle of Life Tarot, and I am sort of obsessed with it. It goes hand in hand. It works really well. So if you guys are into pairings, that's a big one. But let's go ahead and pick a card. We'll have the light, and we'll read from the guidebook so you can see how that works. And then maybe I'll grab my Circle Tarot and the Ethereal Visions, and we'll look at them side by side. That way you guys can see. So the light. Let's go ahead and read this little insert in the guidebook. So it says, the goddess of the day holds her arms up to the light of the sun. She gives reverence to the life-sustaining rays, which brings heat and light. The sun sets the world ablaze, illuminating every part of the corner. Nothing escapes the fire. She brings happiness and illumination to the land. Wake up. It is time to get to work. Begin putting your desires into motion. You can achieve anything you set your heart to in this light. You might feel exposed to the brightness. It is all right. Let the anxiety pass. You can have this. Everything is as it should be. Give into the desires of the light and grow. Meanings. Praise the day. Know you are on the right path. So it's got a nice little chunk in the guidebook. Nothing too big, nothing too complicated. Just kind of talks about what's on the card and gives a good meaning. So let's go ahead and turn this over. And let's take a look at these by those two tarot decks just to kind of get an idea. So let's take a look first at a side-by-side with the Ethereal Visions tarot deck. Now this, they complement each other. You can tell they're by the same artist. They do have the same vibes. I just haven't used them together yet. But they do flow so well. I do like how much deeper the colors are. That's the only thing that, I wish they were a little more saturated. But that's just a personal preference. I like the way that they do look like they're part of a set. Like they do belong together. It's not this huge, stark difference that's just like, what is happening? You know what I mean? They still look really good together. So there we have the Dreamscape Oracle with the Ethereal Visions Tarot. So let's take a look at this deck beside the Circle of Life. So now let's take a look at this deck beside the Circle of Life Tarot. So you can see, oh my God. Sometimes the colors really meld. Sometimes just the vibe of the Circle of Life. It's very fantastical, right? There are fantasy creatures in here, sort of muted colors, but for whatever reason, they just speak so well to each other. Whether it's in contrast, we have this fire against this watery moon energy, but they've just worked so well together. This has been my favorite pairing. Look at this. Balance here with death. Gosh, I love when you turn it over and they're almost like an identical color palette or the same sort of animals. I just love that. So this has been one of my favorite pairings this month. So I thought that I would share these with you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed this look at the Dreamscape Oracle deck along with a couple of pairings. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this walkthrough. Let me know, do you have this deck? Is this something that you want? Are you going to pass on it? I am very curious to hear your thoughts because it was just released today. Probably by the time this is up, it's going to already be started. But Matt Hughes just said today that he is releasing a Luna edition of the Ethereal Visions deck, and I'm super excited for it. It's got some diversity in there. I'm really anxious to see this Kickstarter campaign, so inquiring minds want to know, what are you guys thinking about all this? So let me know down in the comments, and as always, in the description you'll find links to my Etsy, how to book a reading, 3 Fat Readers, all the things, my Instagrams. Go check them out. You can see them all down below, as well as where to get Ethereal Visions Dreamscape deck. So I will talk to you all very soon. I'm sending you all the loves. Mwah. Later, Gators.